Firstly, let's start off with what happened a couple of days ago when the legendary Lucas Masterpieces Moripe was laid to rest after he passed away last week. He was buried on Thursday in Atteridgeville at the Lucas Moripe Stadium. Moripe made a name for himself playing for Pretoria Callies as well as Orlando Pirates in the 70s, and also had a short stint in Hong Kong. And as we continue to honor him and remember him, our sports reporter Vincent Situla caught up with Pretoria Callies owner Mr. Moses Malada, the man who's credited for reviving this team and also keeping the legacy of Lucas Moripe alive.
As we continue to celebrate the legacy of the late Lucas Masterpieces Moripe, the man was a legend for Pretoria Callies. He played for this team when this team was obviously great in South Africa, when it was mentioned the same breath as Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates. And this is the man who also played for Orlando Pirates later on in his career. He also went to play in Hong Kong, where he had a short stint. One of the most celebrated footballers, one of the most skillful footballers. But of course, right there with me, as we continue to celebrate his memory and also attending his memorial service, it's the man who actually got into football because he admired Lucas Moripe so much. The owner of the current Pretoria Callies now that has been revived, that is currently playing in the Moripe Foundation League, is Mr. Moses Malada, who is the owner of Pretoria Callies. Mr. Moses Malada, welcome to SABC News and Sports Live. And first of all, thank you so much for joining us. Let's just talk about this occasion. When you first heard the news that the late, great Lucas Masterpieces Moripe is no more, what was your reaction?
Thank you, Dagaro. Indeed, it was a sad moment when we heard about the passing of this great giant of South African football. Though he was sick, we still have wished that God could, preserve him for us, because we had a lot to learn from him. We had a lot of things that we still wanted to share with him. As a team as well, our ambitions was that let us get to be promoted into the Better Way Premiership while he's still alive. But well, God has done what he thought, because he doesn't make mistakes. He thought it's time for him to rest. And all we can do is to celebrate his legacy moving forward.
Yeah, and I understand you actually got into football because somehow you had a history with Pretoria Callies. Can you please share us more about that?
Yeah, I think I got to know about Pretoria Callies as I was growing up as a young man. And for some time, Pretoria Callies was not in existence. I think I'm told for almost 30 years when I came in 2015. And one of the good things that we did when we started was not to forget the original people of Pretoria Callies. And of course, one of the things that I was cautioned and warned about was that there's no Pretoria Callies without Masterpieces, in as much as there's no Masterpieces without Pretoria Callies. So the first step that we did was to go to Masterpieces and tell him about our intentions of reviving the team. And he welcomed the idea. He was very excited because he said if he could, he would have been the one that would have revived him.
Yeah, I mean, ever since the team has been in the Moripe Foundation League, you have been sort of like struggling to get promotion into the Elite League. And now that the great is no more, how would you like to honor him?
I think it's a debt that we need to pay, because we had made this promise to him while he was still alive, that we will make sure that the team gets to be promoted, because when the team is there, his legacy will never perish. People will always talk about him, because you can't talk about the team without talking about him. So indeed, it is what we need to instill to our players and everybody else that is involved to the team, including the legends that he has left behind, which are his playmates, to make sure that the team gets back to the Elite League.
And if I may ask, what has been some of the challenges for the team not to gain promotion to the Elite League in the previous seasons?
Well, of course, like I said, we started from the lower league. One mainly was that even ourselves, as administrators or as managers or in any other positions, we needed to learn on how to run football. So it was a moment of schooling to a level where we are today, where we feel like we have learned a lot in this game, that we can now be able to run a team in the highest league. But again, running a team in this league in South Africa where resources are not there, it's always an issue. And it's an issue that has always been there with not only with Pretoria Callies but with a number of teams, especially in the NFD. But he had always been the one that says it's not about money, it's not about what resources, because he will remind you that by the time when he was playing, there was no money to play for. But therefore, he has made a name for himself. So it's all about how much you want it, and then all will follow. And then we still drive courage from those words.
How would you summarize the start of your campaign in the league this season?
Well, it wasn't a good one, but we did our best that we can. Assembled a very good squad with a very good coach, with a good experience from Italy, Mr. Fabio Lopez. He's here today with us to witness this moment, and I'm sure he will also drive courage from this thing to say he needs to make sure that the team gets into promotion in his honor.
What are the conversations that you have had with the legends who played for Pretoria Callies and also the supporters who grew up supporting this wonderful team? I know my dad, he was a staunch Pretoria Callies supporter, but not many knows that Pretoria Callies is back, in the PSL, that is in the NFD. What kind of message or the message are you getting from the people, and also maybe the excitement for those who know that the team has got a potential to get back to where it used to be?
Yeah, you will understand that building something that was never there for almost 30 years, it's like starting afresh, and that's a mountain to climb. But however, with the support that we get from the likes of the legend that we are witnessing his celebration today, we actually find strength and hope that indeed is possible.
Maybe as a parting shot, something that doesn't often happen, especially in South Africa, is the fact that Lucas Masterpieces Moripe was actually honored while he was still alive. We've got a stadium here in Atteridgeville that was named after him. That must have been so heartwarming that he was recognized when he was still alive.
No, it is true. He was recognized when he was still alive, I think by the renaming of the stadium. Also the Premier of Gauteng gave him an award from the Premier's office. And a lot of things are still going to happen in his name, because people are realizing that they had actually had a gift, a rare gift that a lot of people in different countries would want to have, but they didn't have. Even us as a team, we took an initiative to approach the family and worked with the family to develop a foundation in his name. While he was still alive, he saw those things. We actually went through and sponsored a book that was written about his history and his legacy. So I'm saying there's a lot of things that we still also trying to think, that how about a documentary that will reflect his life and his playing days, even probably a statue at his house, so that his house becomes a monumental place where even visitors from afar could even visit the house and be able to see where this great legend has lived.